The other thing I was going to say was it's the brand love piece and the building brands and the way you learned it. The other thing that if you had your own lock on sort of copywriting and human decision making,
Yeah.
mine was we went at Coke and we studied how people fall in love. So I actually got love experts. Yeah. And Pepper Schwartz was her name. I think she's still probably, I think she's on Today's Show every year at or Valentine's Day. But she's really an expert on how people fall in love. And what is so interesting is we were able to connect how people fall in love with how people fall in love with brands. And the similarities are amazing.
It would be the same, right? Because we're just humans. So.
That's right. And we're looking for consistency, right? And then we can break the tie. If you screw up, reduce sensitivity as I love you. But only as I love you can you make more, are you good looking in the beginning? Matters. What are your values? It's all the same. It's so amazing. And she was this unlock for those of us that were working on this project because it was just like, oh my gosh, if you just keep that in mind, and because we all have had relationships, whatever they're with, it's like, you can't say you love me if you don't actually call me. Actions need to be louder than words, right? Like everything about a relationship can hold true in how you build brands. And like, forget going to school on brands. Just think about relationships, and that really, it helps.
Oh, absolutely. That's why from the very beginning of the conversation, like it's about people. Marketing is about people. And because I always say like, study the people stuff with you said relationships, whether it's human decision making, all these kind of like technical things, social psychology, like all that kind of stuff. Study that because that's the only thing that's real. That's the only thing that has not changed, will not change. And, all this other stuff that we study is not that useful in terms of marketing because those are just mechanics, right? But the thing that does, and those things will always change because of technology. The thing that never changes is what people need from an emotional level and a connection level and a relationship level. And that's what we should study as marketers.
I agree. And actually it's all that's left that maybe a machine can't do for us.
Amen.
Right. And even there's some things they can do in terms of some patterns. There's a lot it can do, of course, but I couldn't agree with you more. It's all that's left, and I think those are going to be the brands that have the biggest mark in this century for sure. Is those that have used all the greatest tools and technology of the 21st century, but kept empathy. Yeah. And I really do think Google does an amazing job with that. I think about a brand that doesn't really need to tell any stories about, these beautiful stories it tells. Sometimes you've seen them, and I think it doesn't need to do that, but it does that for us to keep in mind that they do stand for something bigger than a search bar.